Part 121. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 1201. Chapter 1201. Mr. Tang snatches his son too. Tangyuj hugged his son and ran out. He ran as fast as he could for his life. The speed of his feet was as fast as Lu Xiang's. He flew all the way downstairs, then got on a plane and rushed to the airport. Tangyuj kept panting and looked back at the Jianyuman sisters who chased down the stairs and had no time to catch up. Ha ha ha, got it. Tangyuj looked proudly at the little guy who was still sleepy and not awake in his arms. The more I look at it, the cuter it gets. Secretary Zhang, who was sitting in the front row, looked at the boss in the back row with sympathy and disapproval. Mr. Tang, is it really okay for you to come here so early in the morning to the child? Tangyuj had a dark look on his face. Naturally, he knew the consequences, but this was the simplest and most direct way. I think next time my wife sees you, she might let you kneel down and eat durian, Secretary Zhang said with some gloating. He still remembers that one afternoon 3 years ago, Mr. Tang made Mrs. Tang unhappy. Mrs. Tang bought durian to punish Mr. Tang by kneeling on the durian and eating durian. Mr. Tang looked miserable at the time, crying and eating at the same time. How pitiful. Drive your car, Mr. Tang rolled his eyes at Secretary Zhang. I won't give you any bonus this month either. What, was? Mr. Tang, don't deduct my bonus if you're unhappy. It's a pity that Secretary Zhang brought it upon himself and didn't take it too seriously to watch the excitement. He actually dared to tease his own boss. Finally, he regretted it. Unfortunately, he couldn't protest. If he said anything, his bonus might be deducted for 2 months. Little Mickey woke up with sleepy eyes. When he opened his eyes, he saw Tangyu's face magnified in front of him. Ah, ghost. Mr. Tang. Secretary Zhang, can't laugh. You little brat. Tangyuj looked helplessly at the little guy struggling to get up in his arms. Where am I? Where are you taking me? I'll take you to meet your daddy. Daddy, little Mickey was stunned, staring at Tangyuj in front of him with his big round eyes. If he remembers correctly, Mommy said that his daddy is the bad guy uncle in front of him. Although he doesn't want to admit it, he is. Why did he say he wanted to take him to see his father? What is this for? The world of adults is indeed beyond what a child like him can understand. It takes 30 to 40 minutes to drive to the airport. While little Mickey looked at Tangyuj in confusion, Jianyuman's third phone rang, accompanied by her threatening text message, and she had no choice but to answer it. Tangyuj, what are you doing so early in the morning? Where do you want to take little Mickey away? I'll take him to meet his biological father. What are you talking about? Can you speak human language that others can understand? Jianyuman's clever head was turned into mush by Tangyuj. Fei Shen has arrived at the imperial capital. The plane will land soon. I will take little Mickey to see Fei Shen. What? Jianyuman's mind became even more confused. Take little Mickey to meet Fei Shen. Why do you have to the child away? The point is. Are you that anxious? Mr. Tang, shake your head and see if you can hear the sound of the sea. Can you speak more clearly? Tangyuj was speechless for a while. What he said was not clear enough, and she actually subtly said that he had water in his brain. I already know that little Mickey is Fei Shen and Lili's child. Fei Shen came over overnight after knowing it. I will take the child there now and return the child to you later. Hang up. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 1202. Chapter 1202. Lest the world be in chaos. 1. I already know that little Mickey is Fei Chen and Lili's child. Fei Chen came over overnight after knowing this. I will take the child there now and return the child to you later. Hang up, Tangyuj said after finishing his words. To hang up. He was just worried that Jianyuman and the others knew that he was taking little Mickey to see Tang Feishan. They were afraid that the two sisters would not agree, so he came early in the morning to the child and go to see Feishan. He was afraid that if he continued to talk, he would be ruined. If you dare to hang up, I will break up with you. Jianyuman was anxious, fearing that Tangyuj would really hang up the phone, so she immediately threatened him. As soon as Tangyuj heard that they were about to break up, he immediately behaved. I won't hang up, I won't hang up. Jianyuman took a deep breath and looked at Qilal, who had a cold expression next to her but was extremely concerned about the content of their conversation. Mr. Tang, who told you that little Mickey is the child of Li Li and Fei Chen? Jianyuman rolled her eyes and shook her legs, making a look of lovelessness. Why can't she keep up with Mr. Tang's brain circuit? Kyle Lei on the side also looked confused. When did little Mickey become her child? Your sister? No, I met Xiao and your sister on the street yesterday. I, Qiner, heard little Mickey calling you Li Li's mommy. Later, I confirmed with Xiao that the child's surname was Tang, so, I didn't pass by. If you agree, take him to see Feishan. Dear wife, dear Qiner, don't be angry. I will return the child to you later. Hearing the explanation, Jianyuman's face was covered with black lines. Mr. Tang, is it that your so-called smart head has been in trouble since it fell into the water a few years ago? You would actually suspect that your son is your younger brother's son. You are simply outrageous. This misunderstanding is huge. Moreover, of course the child's surname is Tang. If you yourself are surnamed Tang, of course your son's surname is Tang. Why don't you ask her yourself? Qiner, don't be angry, okay? I'm doing this for Li Li and Fei Shen. Fei Chen knew that Li Li was pregnant when she left, so he regretted it so much that he booked a flight overnight and arrived early in the morning. Just forgive me. Jianyuman raised her eyebrows slightly and looked at her sister, who had an obviously weird expression. The sister pulled her sister and said, Sister, please explain to your brother-in-law about the child. Jianyuman nodded quickly, patted Qilai on the shoulder, and raised a sly smile at the corner of her mouth, hoping that the world would not be in chaos to answer. Since you guys know about it, I will lend you the child for a day and tell Feishan properly that if you want father and son to recognize each other, then make some gesture. I heard that he is getting married next month. After saying this, Jianyuman hung up the phone. Tangyuj didn't let Tangyuj speak, and even deliberately mentioned Tang Feishan's marriage when he finished speaking, and asked them to take action. It was not that simple to recognize their son. Qilai, whose cold expression broke the ice instantly, looked at her sister in surprise. Sister, what are you talking about? The child Fei Chen and I have, isn't it yours and my brother-in-law's? Why did you say those words? Jianyuman opened her mouth, laughed, and shook her hair. Sister, don't you think this beautiful misunderstanding is not bad? Maybe it is to build a bridge between you and Fei Shen. Jianyuman felt more and more clever. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 1203. Chapter 1203. Lest the world be in chaos too. Sister, this is deception. Qilai shook her head in disapproval. It's impossible for Fei Shen and I to be together. He's getting married next month. The date is all ready, so why bother struggling fearlessly? What a fearless thing. Just now on the phone, Mr. Tang already said that Fei Shen was very nervous and regretful when he found out that you left with the child, so he flew over immediately and wanted to mend the relationship between you. The child is growing up in a single-parent family. Fei Shen's performance is over there. Do you still insist on it? At first, you thought it was a pity that you separated. Why don't you look at Fei Shen's situation? Maybe after 3 years, he still has something to think about. The hope of being with you. Sister, I still don't agree with your approach. Then don't say anything. Just wait for Fei Shen to come to you and ask for reconciliation, and leave the other things to your sister. It doesn't matter if you don't want to lie. When the time comes, if you put all the responsibility on me, just say I did it. Qian Yuman just heard Tang Yuj say that Tang Feishan flew in overnight, so she knew that there might still be a possibility between her sister and Feishan. Seeing my sister's disappointed expression last night, I knew she still had feelings for Tang Feishan. Since she had feelings, why not make one last effort? If you still fail this time, you will not leave any regrets in your life. She is living happily with Mr. Tang now, and she doesn't want to see her sister continue to be alone. I just feel sorry for that nagging Murong yet. Sister, let's go. I just don't have to go to work today. Let's go for beauty treatments and shopping together, and wait for Mr. Tang to return the child to us. Qian Yuman was in a good mood and took her sister to have beauty treatments. But, sister, my brother-in-law has a big misunderstanding. Aren't you afraid that he will punish you if he knows the truth? He dares. Qian Yuman raised her chin proudly. On the way to the airport, little Mickey kept giving Tang Yuj a few blank looks. The conversation between father and son is as follows. I decided not to call you Uncle Bad Guy anymore. You really can't call me that. You have to call me Uncle. Little Mickey rolled his eyes again. I'm going to call you Uncle Idiot and Badass, or Uncle Biden for short. Little Mickey was puzzled as to why such a smart kid had such an idiot father. He already knew who his biological father was, but he actually thought he was Tang Feishan's child. But who is that? Little Mickey thought for a long time and came to the conclusion that the world of adults is too complicated. By Dan, you think I'm not your son, right? I just don't want to. I will help my mommy find a good partner recently. Don't be angry then. Why should I be angry? I won't be angry no matter how many times you introduce it to your mommy, but my brother can't tell. Biden, are you an idiot? Little Mickey turned his head away with a look of despair and refused to talk to Tang Yuj, a combination of idiot and bad guy. Tang Feishan dragged his luggage and hurriedly walked out of the exit, quickly finding Tang Yuj and the child in his arms. Brother, is this child my child? Tang Feishan was a little excited, looking at little Mickey lying on Tang Yuj's shoulder with red eyes. I'm not, little Mickey protested with dissatisfaction, pouting. He was eager to be his daddy before, but why are so many people wanting to be his daddy recently? End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 1204. Chapter 1204. Are you happy selling your son? 1. I'm not. The two grown men who were in a state of excitement ignored little Mickey's protest and looked excited. Tang Yuj nodded happily and pushed his son into Tang Feishan's arms. Brother, this is your son Mickey. He's not cute. At this moment, Tang Yuj didn't know that the child in his arms was his son, so he actually pushed his son to others. If he knew that it was his son in his arms, what kind of expression should he make in order to repay his kindness? A great achievement. Son, Tang Feishan, who was as gentle as jade and always looked polite, was also excited at this moment, trembling his hands and wanted to go to Xiao Mickey. Little Mickey, can you give me a hug? No, little Mickey shook his head coldly and refused. These two adults were so surprised that he couldn't understand what they were saying. Tang Feishan was not discouraged when he hit a wall. He just looked at little Mickey with very longing eyes and asked patiently. Although it is my first time to meet you, I have carefully prepared a gift for you. As he spoke, Tang Feishan took out a large gift box with transformers and gun models specially prepared for children. Little Mickey, who was coldly trying to deal with the two mentally ill adults, suddenly lit up when his eyes fell on the toy combination in Tang Feishan's hand. Especially the gun model. He saw the real one in Su Warong's hands last time. He had always wanted such a toy. Unfortunately, he was too young to play with the real gun, but he didn't expect that this strange uncle would give it to him when they first met. The greeting gift was so thoughtful. "Let me tell you, I am not your son, but I accepted the gift you gave me as a meeting gift." Little Mickey pretended to be an adult and took the toy from Tang Feishan's hand with a serious face. Little Mickey accepted the gift, Tang Feishan's eyes lit up, and then he opened his hand. "For the sake of giving me a gift, I'll give you a hug." Really, Tang Feishan was so excited when he heard this. He couldn't wait to open his arms and hold little Mickey in his arms, rubbing his little face affectionately. Hey, 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 little Mickey looked at Tang Feishan with a look of disgust, but thinking about the toys he gave him, he finally happily accepted the hug from this strange uncle. "Little Mickey, I'll take you to eat whatever you want. Do you like this toy? I can take you to the mall to buy it later, or find someone to customize it for you. As long as you tell me, Dad will buy it for you." Tang Feishan hugged little Mickey and kept trying to please him. "Yes. Little Mickey, you're welcome. My brother is very rich. You can buy whatever you want." "I'm not his son." Little Mickey pointed at Tang Feishan and reiterated dissatisfiedly. However, the two adults chose to pretend not to hear. No matter how little Mickey protested, they regarded him as a child who could not accept that his biological father was Tang Feishan. Tang Feishan is also prepared to spend a lot of patience to get along well with his son Mickey. He missed it 2.5 years ago and has not seen him since he was a child. It is his regret, and he must make up for it. After little Mickey said it 3 times, he saw that the two adults didn't take it to heart at all and treated him as a childish child, so he gave up his defense. However, children are still children, and people's hearts are still easy to bribe. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 1205. Chapter 1205. Are you happy selling your son? 2. Tang Feishan took little Mickey to have a sumptuous breakfast, and then took him to a private custom gun model shop. After choosing a bunch of gifts for little Mickey, the little guy was bribed by Tang Feishan. Uncle Feishan. The call was also friendly. "Thank you, Uncle Feishan." Little Mickey held a small model of a firearm and smiled innocently and brightly. He was very satisfied. It could be seen that he really liked the model. "Call me Dad." Tang Yuj, who was selling his son to the side, was correcting little Mickey's call. "Brother, don't force him, he will scream when he wants to." Tang Feishan smiled gently, looking at little Mickey sitting at the dining table, playing with the model. Little Mickey raised his head and said seriously, "You are a good person. You want to pursue my mommy and become my stepfather. But if you have to wait in line, then wait until." Little Mickey thought for a while. "No, 4. Tang Yuj, Kenny, Su Warong, plus Tang Feishan, they are the 4th one." Huh, the two adults were stunned. Little Mickey held his beloved model and gave Tang Feishan a good guy card. "Don't worry, I like you very much, much better than the white egg next to you. I can open the back door for you when you chase my mommy in the future." Little Mickey, who completely misunderstood him, automatically classified Tang Feishan into the ranks of Tianhuman suitors who wanted to be his stepfather. "Little Mickey, I don't want you to hurt me and promote others like this." Tang Yuj rolled his eyes and said nothing to little Mickey, even if he wanted to correct him. "Humph!" Little Mickey snorted at Tang Yuj and refused to talk to Daddy Biden. After playing all morning, Tang Yuj gave Tang Feishan Kylie's contact information and address, and left. Moreover, he left his own son with Tang Feishan and left. Ask him why he left? Naturally, he went to Tianhuman to accept punishment. He was ready to kneel down for durians, but after much thought, should he buy all the durians in the city so that Jian Yuman could not find a place to buy durians? Although I mistakenly thought that when Jian Yuman's accident happened, he was crying while eating the durian. He seemed to be happy while eating, but in fact he was not happy at all. He didn't like eating in the first place, but later he suffered from psychological effects. He didn't want to eat at all, let alone kneel on it, as his knees would be broken. When Tangyuj found Jian Yuman, he faced Jian Yuman with a gloomy face and Qi Lili with a strange expression. Tangyuj, Jian Yuman shouted word by word, reached out and pinched Tangyuj's ears, and dragged him to the room. Qi Lili looked behind Tangyuj with cold eyes, but did not see Tang Feishan and little Mickey. She was hesitating whether to go in to find her sister when a strange phone call came in. Just looking at the caller ID number, she recognized it was Tang Feishan's phone number. He had used this number for 10 years and it had never changed in these 10 years. After hesitating for a long time, I finally picked it up. "Hello. Lili, let's come out and meet." Jian Yuman in the room pinched Tangyu's ears, turned on the TV, placed the remote control on the ground, pointed at the remote control on the ground and said fiercely, "Kneel on it." Jian Tangyuj looked at Jian Yuman pitifully, trying to get rid of the fate of kneeling on her. "Don't scream so affectionately, just kneel on it." Jian Yuman already had a leather whip in her hand that she didn't know where. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 1206. Chapter 1206. Are you happy selling your son? 3. Don't scream so affectionately, just kneel on it. Jian Yuman already had a leather whip in her hand that she didn't know where. Tangyu's eyes lit up when he saw the whip. "Honey, it's noon, so we have to have such an exciting time." Tangyuj also licked his lips and glanced at Jian Yuman's curvy figure. "Kneel down quickly." Jian Yuman hit the whip the ground, threatening ferociously. Tangyuj was so excited that he bent the man's knees and knelt on the remote control. He couldn't really kneel on the remote control. It was simply difficult. He couldn't hold it for long every time, and his feet would kneel on the remote control. In the past, as long as he knelt down, he would be miserable at night. Not only could he not sleep in the room, he could only sleep in the bathtub. This time, he even used a whip. "Jian, I know I was wrong, forgive me." Tangyuj pinched his ears, lowered his head, and looked at Jian Yuman with a guilty look on his face. Jian Yuman sneered, rolled up the whip in her hand, and gently slapped her palm. "Tangyuj, I have never seen a father who cheats his son like this." Tangyuj looked guilty and wanted to commit suicide one moment, but at the next moment he suddenly raised his head and looked at Jian Yuman, his eyes as big as copper bells. Did he hear it right? Did he hear it wrong just now? He seemed to hear Jian say that he was a father who cheated his son. Jian, 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 what, you, say?" Tangyuj couldn't speak clearly because his teeth were clenched. He actually stuttered. The expression on his face was even more amusing, his eyes were as wide as bells, his mouth was tilted behind his ears, and his facial nerves were twitching continuously. "I said that you, Tangyuj, are the most cheating father I have ever seen. You are even willing to give away your own son. I have never seen such a generous person like you. I don't know, Comrade Tangyuj, how much do you plan to sell my son for, to your brother?" Jian Yuman's words were very clear. No matter how stupid Tangyuj was, he immediately understood that he had misunderstood. And the misunderstanding is huge. He even gave his son to his younger brother for free, saying he was his younger brother's Qi Lili's son. That is obviously his biological son. Tanyuj was excited, kneeling on the remote control, and changed the channel on the TV. Okay. Kneel down. Yuman was about to blurt out her fierce words when a bear-like figure rushed up, reversed her position, threw her on the big bed, and pressed her body down on the bed. Tanyuj, what are you doing? Yuman bared her teeth at Tanyuj angrily. At this moment, Tanyuj didn't care how angry Yuman was, whether he was asking him to kneel on the keyboard just now, because he was so happy. He smiled stupidly, and stared at Yuman with glowing eyes. Little Mickey is my and your son? I love you so much. Tanyuj happily leaned over and kissed Yuman's face hard. Oh, why are you so disgusting? Yuman said disgusting words, but the smile on her face was bright, happy and sweet. His reaction was as exciting as she expected. But, you didn't mean the child at the beginning. Tanyuj remembered that more than 2 years ago, Yuman cried and said that the child was dead. Yuman's eyes dimmed slightly when she mentioned the little princess who died. Little Mickey is the brother, and the one who died is our daughter. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 1207. Chapter 1207. Are you happy selling your son? 4. Yuman was in a low mood when she mentioned sad things, which made Tanyuj lean over and kiss her in self-reproach. At the same time, her deterioration also confirmed his suspicion. I'm sorry. Tanyuj leaned over and kissed her forehead. It's all my fault that I didn't find you earlier, didn't stay with you, and caused you to have a difficult delivery. Let the past go by and don't mention it again. Yuman obviously didn't want to mention the pain of that period again, let alone face it. Because the pain was so overwhelming that she couldn't bear it. Okay, I won't mention it, I won't mention it. Tanyuj rubbed her face with both hands. From now on, there will be me, 3 little princesses, and 4 little princesses. You can have as many babies as you want. Besides, you still have our little baby who is about to be born in your belly. Tanyuj's eyes became gentler when he mentioned the new life in Yuman's belly. Go away. Who wants to have so many children? 2 or 3 are enough. If you want to have 7 or 8 more, you are treating me like a sow. You don't even know how painful it is to give birth. If she didn't deeply love the man in front of her, she wouldn't want to have another child. This time, I will always be with you, watching the child be born, watching the child grow up little by little, and can walk and talk. He did not witness the growth of little Mickey, which was somewhat regretful. This time, he won't miss it again. Well, I have you with me this time. Yuman smiled happily, looking forward to the future. She should not dwell on the past. She put her arms around his neck and forgot about punishing Tanyuj. Tanyuj leaned down and prepared to kiss the woman he loved passionately. Just when his lips were about to kiss hers, he suddenly thought of something important. Then why did you and I just lie to me and say that little Mickey is my brother's son? He was so embarrassed that even though his biological son had told him countless times that he was not Tang Feishan's son, he actually gave his son to his younger brother as a son. Now I like having my children by my side so much that I can take good care of my own flesh and blood. That is his son, his biological son. His Enchien's son. At the mention of this, Yuman laughed and looked at Tanyuj mockingly. I am extremely smart, with an incredible IQ and a huge emotional intelligence, Mr. Tang. I realize that you are not very smart either. Being ridiculed by his own woman, Tanyuj scratched his head in embarrassment. I said that on purpose. Anyway, you and Feishan misunderstood me, so I just let the misunderstanding amplify. Tanyuj reached out and tapped her nose affectionately, already guessing what she was thinking. You have so many clever ideas. Stick out your tongue. I saw yesterday that Lily I still couldn't let go of Feishan, so I wanted to give them another chance to see if they can be together again like us. No matter what the result is, At least try again, even if we don't end up together. At the same time, there will be no regrets in my heart. It's a pity that my good brother Xiao has been chasing Lili for 3 years, but you ruined every move. Tangyuj smiled helplessly. It doesn't matter. If Lili and Fei Chen get back together in the end, I will introduce Murong to a girlfriend. If not, a boyfriend will do. Qian Yuman chuckled. As long as you don't give him my boyfriend, that'll be fine. When I said this, I thought of the scene of giving my son to my younger brother. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 1208. Chapter 1208. Manman loves to stir up trouble. 1. Qian Yuman slapped her head and suddenly remembered that her sister was at the door just now. Then she went to open the door to see if her sister was still there, to make sure she didn't call Qi Lili. What? Are you going to see Fei Chen? Wait a minute, Qian Yuman screamed and hurriedly called to her sister. What's wrong? Don't go there yet. Just wait a moment, tell me the place you agreed on, and I'll go in your place. Qi Lili was silent for a few seconds. She didn't understand why her sister said she wanted to go in her place just now when she looked like she wished they could be together earlier. Suddenly changed your mind and stopped messing around? That's fine, my sister will go instead of me. However, she breathed a sigh of relief at the thought of not having to face Tang Fei Chen. She was still afraid that meeting Tang Fei Chen again would embarrass her. Okay. You go home now, and I'll go get my son first. Then please sister, please explain it clearly to Fei Chen. Yeah. I'll talk nicely. Qian Yuman nodded wildly, her voice a little excited. Qi Lili didn't realize that there was something wrong with her sister at all, why she kept doing it so repeatedly. Qian, don't you want them to get back together? Have you changed your mind? Facing Tangyu's confused eyes, Qian Yuman revealed a sly smile. You can't guess what I want to do. Tangyuj glanced at Qian Yuman for a while before he understood what he meant. Qian Yuman left Tangyuj behind and ran away. This time she went to see Tang Fei Chen, but she didn't bring sticky candy with her. In the high-end restaurant, little Mickey was eating a dessert. Tang Fei Chen kept watching little Mickey eat with a pair of gentle eyes, as if just watching him was more satisfying than anything else. Qian Yuman arrived at the location and saw her precious son eating snacks. She quickly rushed over, hugged her son, and ravaged little Mickey in her arms. My good nephew, little Mickey, do you miss your aunt? Auntie misses you so much. Qian Yuman hugged little Mickey and kissed and hugged her. Little Mickey looked at mommy in confusion. Just as he was about to call her mommy, Qian Yuman began to express her love for this nephew again, reminding little Mickey countless times to call her aunt. But little Mickey was thinking, what is mommy doing? Sure enough, a child like him doesn't understand the world of adults. It seems that he should drink more milk and grow up quickly. Sister-in-law, why is it you? Tang Fei Chen kept looking around, looking for Qi Lili. Lili, she suddenly had diarrhea and couldn't come over, so she asked me to pick up my lovely nephew. Qian Yuman lied without blinking or her heart beating faster. Tang Fei Chen's eyes dimmed a little, and he was obviously a little disappointed. Qian Yuman hurriedly explained. Don't get me wrong, my sister is not avoiding you, she is really upset. Qian Yuman glanced with her beautiful peach blossom eyes, her eyes rolled, she smiled slightly and spoke. Fei Chen, I heard that you are getting married. Yet although Tang Fei Chen had a faint smile on his face, Qian Yuman caught the complicated expression in his eyes with sharp eyes. Let me be honest, since you are getting married, don't disturb Lili and little Mickey. Qian Yuman picked up little Mickey and prepared to leave. Tang Fei Chen shouted anxiously. Sister-in-law, wait a moment. What are you waiting for? Do you still want to little Mickey away? At the beginning, Lili knew that there was no possibility for you, so she didn't tell you about her pregnancy. just because she was afraid that your Tang family would have a big business and steal the child. Manman slogan, make trouble. Make trouble. Make trouble. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 1209. Chapter 1209. Manman loves to stir up trouble too. What are you waiting for? Do you still want to away little Mickey? Even though Lily I knew that there was no possibility for you, she didn't tell you that she was pregnant, just because she was afraid that your Tang family would steal the child. She went through all kinds of hardships to give birth to the child. When she gave birth, he even almost died during childbirth. Are you going to ruthlessly the child away from Lele? No, sister-in-law, I didn't want to take the child away from Lily. Then what do you want? Let me answer it for you. Do you want to get back together with Lily? Don't you? I also understand what you mean. You still have an engagement, so you can go and cancel it. In fact, Lily I also hope so in her heart. She has been unable to let go of you for so many years. She holds the crystallization of your love every time. It's a pity that you also know her personality. She is always unwilling to lower her head because she wants to save face and suffer hardship. Your father's embarrassment also caused her great pain. I did hurt her deeply. The smile on Tang Faishan's face gradually couldn't be maintained. His gentle eyes looked at the little Mickey in Qian Yuman's arms, with his mouth covered, and his eyes were slightly red. It's not too late. In fact, as long as there is love between you, there is still a chance. Sister-in-law, I understand what you mean, but I'm getting married next month, and there's no way there will be anything between me and Lily. Let me ask you, do you still have Lily in your heart? You obviously still love each other. Why can't you be brave? You have already missed 3 years, how many more years will you miss? Sorry. Don't say you're sorry to me. The person you're sorry for is Lily who loves you deeply. If you want to fight for it again, my sister-in-law is very willing to help you. Hurry up and agree. As long as you agree, the purpose of sister-in-law's visit today will be successfully completed. Sister-in-law, I'm sorry. I failed Lily back then, and I don't want to let my fiancé down this time. If I say I won't get married now, I can't answer for my fiancé's family and the Tang family. Qian Yuman is anxious. Why is this brother-in-law so difficult to deal with? But she still hasn't moved her heart yet. Qian Yuman glanced at her son and suddenly reached out and pinched the child's thigh. Ah! Little Mickey screamed in pain. Qian Yuman immediately hugged little Mickey and shouted sadly. My poor little Mickey, don't cry. I know you are sad. You have never had the chance to grow up in the care of your parents. Hey! Your father is such a cruel guy. He would rather you and your mother. And is unwilling to hurt someone he doesn't love. Qian Yuman pinched little Mickey again and encouraged him to act together. Little Mickey touched the place where his mother pinched him with tears in his eyes. He felt depressed and sad. Why did his mother cheat such a son? But he still obeyed his mother, fell into her arms and pretended to cry. This cry made Tang Faishan, who was already a good man and soft-hearted, unable to let go of Qi Lili, cry softly. Give me some time, this matter is a bit complicated. My fiancé and I's marriage is too involved. Even if we regret our marriage, we still need some time. At this moment, Tang Faishan was disturbed by Qian Yuman, and his heart was in confusion. He originally just wanted to see his son, but when Qian Yuman provoked him, he was completely confused. Qian Yuman turned around and came to find Qi Lili again, appearing in front of her with a sad face. Lili, I didn't expect Faishan would be so strong and want to take away little Mickey. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 1210. Chapter 1210 Manman loves to stir up trouble 3. After getting a satisfactory answer, Qian Yuman left with her son and immediately set off to find her sister. Although Tang Feishan hasn't completely agreed yet, he has begun to waver, which is a good thing. As long as she swings, she can get the two of them together again. Qian Yuman found Qi Lilei and appeared in front of her with a sad face. She hesitated to speak, and her heart-wrenching expression made even Qi Lilei be fooled. "Sister, what's wrong?" "Lilei, I didn't expect Feishan would be so strong and want to away little Mickey." "Sister, what are you talking about? Didn't you explain that the child is yours?" I forgot to say it, but I didn't expect that Fei Chen, who has always been gentle and considerate, would tell me when he saw me that he would never let the Tang family's children wander outside. After knowing the existence of the children, he said that he would take care of them." "Child goes. How could this happen?" Qi Lile frowned. "I can't blame Feishan. In fact, I can also see that the person he really cares about is you. He is afraid that you will save face and suffer the consequences and is unwilling to get back together with him, so he uses this method to blackmail you." "Hello, hey you. Miss Kianda, that's not the case. It's your words to live and die to save face. But the child is not mine. That's not the point. The point is that after Fei Chen knew about the existence of the child, he clamored to break off the engagement with his fiancée and stay with you. He said that you have been in his heart for so many years, and he and his fiancée were just it was all forced upon him by Tang's father." "Hello, hey you. Miss Kianda, Fei Shen has always refused, okay. He didn't say he wanted to break off the engagement, he was obviously considering it." Qian Yuman sighed deeply and casually told the lies she had thought up on the way without blinking her eyes when telling them. She must not have thought that the lie she told casually was actually true. Tang Feishan's fiancée was indeed matched by Tang's father. It was not easy to dissolve the engagement because the two families cooperated closely. If the in-law relationship was missing, it might cause great losses. "Did he say that?" "Of course. Of course he said it. Could it be that your sister and I made it up? After Fei Chen found out, he kept clamoring to see you and said he wanted to get back together with you. He even said that he wanted to get back together with you because he knew about the existence of the child. Your courage to get back together. He also said that even if he doesn't have children, he still wants to get back together with you because he still loves you deeply, and he still can't forget you after so many years." "Hello, hey you. Miss Kianda," Fei Chen clearly said to think about it. "You didn't say you wanted to get back together, let alone still love Lilei deeply. Your ability to lie is getting stronger and stronger." Qi Lilei fell silent, and her eyes became more and more complicated. From her slightly trembling hands, it could be seen that she was feeling uneasy inside at the moment. "Lilei, you still have feelings for each other, why do you want to let go of each other?" With these words, Qian Yuman left, leaving her sister some time. She turned around and ran to find Murong Yet. Since Qian Yuman was going to cause trouble, how could she not include Murong Yet? The more lively the event, the bigger and more exciting it would be. Finding Murong Yet at work, Qian Yuman started crying while holding him. "Murong, let me tell you a piece of good news and bad news. The good news is that I heard Lilei say that I would agree to your proposal. The bad news is that Fei Chen showed up today and said he wanted to marry Lilei. How could you say such a thing could happen, Lilei? Lei is yours now, how can you steal your CEO Murong? What is our slogan? Make things bigger. Shake things up. Become the #1 matchmaker." End of this chapter.